Hey guys, welcome back to the Nets, the home of unbiased views. So today we'll be discussing about Delhi Capitals and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Before we go anywhere, guys, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, please do whatever you can to spread the word out. That will give us immense. That will help us immensely. So today we have the same two guys talking about cricket. It's Keur. Hi Keur, how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Hello, everybody. So, Delhi Capitals, finalists last year, um, never really looked like a team that would match Mumbai in the finals. Lost to Mumbai 4 times. So, uh, weakness is where they didn't really have a middle order batsman that could actually bat them through. Shreyas Iyer uh, was the captain. I wouldn't say wasn't the strongest of captain, but he probably might have improved in the last 1 year. Sadly, he will miss out in the first half of the game, but we will definitely see a much better Prithvi Shaw and definitely a stronger Pant. So that itself takes this team up a notch. Addition
Absolutely.
of Steve Smith helps. Addition of Steve Smith helps. Steve Smith brings immense value to this middle order. Yes, he is not the captain, which is good because he was a horrible captain last year at Rajasthan Royals. He was terrible captain. There is no better way of putting it. Um, Weakness wise, I would say that the core will be built around these three, four Indian squad members. I think um, the overseas players that they have, they are not. They will pretty much the four of them will be playing all the games unless something massive happens. But what is your take on them so far?
So, where I see it from, this looks like a much stronger team than what it was last year in the finals. And on paper, this is a very good team. So, Prithvi Shaw is coming up from a beautiful series, beautiful domestic series. Pant has been what he is in the last year. So, Pant since the Australia series has been a different player altogether, right? So that's Pant for you. Uh, we have Aksar Patel also coming from a brilliant England series at home. So that's and Ashwin and one of and Shikhar Dhawan. So with Shikhar Dhawan, this is one of his only times which where I will see that he has to prove a point if he has to get selected for the Indian the World Cup, right? So where I see it from, this is one of his make or break year kind of a thing. If this year doesn't work for him, it's going to be end for his it's going to be curtains for his career. So where I see from their four international players will be a problem. Where do you fit in? If you want to fit in Steve Smith, you have to make you have to so either Hitmeyer or Stoinis has to make way for him. I think Hitmeyer will make way for him because Steve Smith, he has a name, he has a brand of his own. So, and they can't afford Stoinis who gives him their 4 overs, 2 to 3 overs in between when things aren't working. Stoinis is their guy to have them hold, right? So they have a tremendous. I think the top 11 is pretty strong where I see it from, and very well deserved. So like their last season was a very well deserved and well placed 11, well placed team in the IPL. So that's what I feel. There'll be a toss up between Umesh, Ishant, and Mishra because I don't think all the three all like you can't make an you can't Ashwin can't make way for Amit Mishra
Mishra.
and Rabada and the South African guy, the South African chap. That
No,
that's
yeah.
their that that's their core. That's their core. So
The way I look at it, they are pretty much their core is pretty solid, just as Mumbai. They will not be experimenting much throughout the season. Um, the only problem that I can see them having is because of over experimentation. If they try to bring in drop in Smith, bring in Hetmeyer, then they may have. I think that would actually be better for them, just because Shikhar Dhawan, no matter what people say, he's not going to play in the T20 World Cup now that we know that Rohit and Kohli are opening. The only way Shikhar can probably make that is just because of the fact that he's a left-hander, and if he's super aggressive throughout IPL, then he has a squad. He has a chance in the squad. Shikhar Dhawan for me is one of those players that if he lasts for 50 balls, he will probably make you 70 runs. But that's your using up pretty much half of the allotted number of balls that you can face. And 70 in 10 overs is not really going to give you good enough. Shikhar Dhawan lacks that fifth to sixth gear. So that is where I feel that is where the weakness of this Delhi squad might come in. If they go with Shikhar Dhawan as a consistent opener and Pant relies too much on his own abilities to come in and hit in the end, he may not even get enough balls to be there. And as a captain,
So
I feel that it's about time that he plays at number four. That number four squad in India is still open. And if Pant makes that spot his own, then we are looking at a really solid foundation of an Indian team. So I think Pant might see himself getting promoted up the order. So for me, the squad will be Prithvi Shaw, Shikhar Dhawan to begin with.
so
One
you're
drop
saying
is Steve Smith.
most of the 11, most of the playing 11.
Yes,
Yeah, but
most of the playing 11, I'll see Steve Smith as one drop until Shreyas Iyer comes back. Then
he's
there
not coming back.
is
He's ruled out of the. As far as I know, he's ruled out of the entire series.
so then Steve Smith again depends if the opening stand does do it. But again, I don't really see Prithvi Shaw being one of those guys that actually is flashy. He tries to overhit it, and once he's in the zone, he tries to hit every ball, which can be a reason for his downfall. So I don't see Prithvi Shaw batting till the 12th or 13th over. So even if he gets out right outside the power play, you can see somebody like Steve Smith coming in to steady the innings a little bit and be there till the 15th, 16th over or 13th, 14th over. That being said, the next one in has to be Pant and Stoinis. They pick themselves up. So that's the top five. Then you probably will have the all-rounders coming in. And by all-rounders, I mean you have Akshar Patel, or you have a squad, and Akshar Patel will be out for some time. So that is the opening that you have for an Indian homegrown talent to come in. So you are missing out on Rahane there. Rahane cannot really come in and do a number six role. So I think that is a weakness for this squad. They don't really have a batsman uh, to fill in that role. You can have Akshar Patel when he comes in, but until then there would be Ripal Patel or there would be Ajinkya Rahane coming into that squad. And then there are these four bowlers that you have. They are not getting dropped. Nokia and Rabada are playing all the games. You
Absolutely,
probably might
absolutely.
have to toss up between Umesh and Ishant, and Umesh might get the nod just because of his batting abilities. He can throw his bat around a little bit more than Ishant can.
So, so where I see it from, there there is a chance that Dhawan and Rahane both play throughout the IPL because they don't have a replacement for either of them. So they don't have a number. They don't have an opening Indian batsman, nor do they have number three, right? So Shreyas Iyer is going to be missed by a mile. So they don't have a classic batsman who can bat it out. So that is going to be one of their major concerns going ahead. So for me, as you said, it's going to be a pretty. But I will still pick Rahane over anybody else in the squad because you need someone to stabilize the innings. If you have, if you have no runs on board and you're 2 wickets down, you need a Rahane to come in. You can't rely on a Pant to come and stabilize the innings.
So
So
if you look at it that way, then I feel that if it makes more sense for Delhi to not play Smith, rather play Shimran Hetmeyer and have Rahane anchor the innings throughout. And the
exactly, exactly.
best way to beat this squad is to make sure you don't get Shikhar Dhawan and Rahane out till at least the 15th over.
Yeah, so the
That for
strike
me
rate
is the
is
easiest
at
way.
around 110, 120. So,
Exactly. Uh-huh.
so that is not going to change your fortune. So any day run a ball would be much more better than chasing down, having Hitmeyer go for around 150, 160 strike rate. So my team, my
Uh-huh, go ahead.
yeah, no, no, sorry, continue.
No, no, I'm saying that in this squad, rather than the league position where they finish, I would personally like to see how Pant manages this team. If Pant is bold enough to take those decisions as dropping players, that is something that I will keep an eye out on. For
And
me,
even
yes,
even
based
the
just
way
on the squad. Yeah, good.
no, no, even for me, Pant is going to be a major factor going in this season of the IPL. So it will be a different turnaround altogether for a person who has not capped any of his. I'm not sure about the under anything below under 19, but I'm pretty sure that he has not capped Delhi ever. He has not capped his domestic team ever. So it's going to be a pretty interesting viewpoint on it. And my 11 would be as similar as you said, and there'll be a toss up between Umesh, Ishant, and Amit Mishra. If it's a turning track in Mumbai, I don't see Amit Mishra getting a game. But if there's any other place where ball spinning and it's going to be a little slower, then Amit Mishra definitely makes way for either or. So yeah, and Hitmar's in the team apart from Steve Smith. So because Rahani gets in, Shaw, Dhawan, Rahane, Hitmayer, Shaw, Dhawan, Pant, Hitmayer, Stoinis, Axar, Ashwin, Rabada, South African,
Nokia,
uh, Nokia,
Nokia,
and
and
Ishan
Ishant or
Ishan.
Yadav.
Yeah,
I would agree. I definitely see this team in the top four. Just by the sheer strength of the squad, I can see them in the top four. But winning, if they have a bad day, then it will be primarily because the one has played a long inning.
absolutely. So, and who's your X Factor player? So, one of your
In
X
the
Factor players.
Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant is riding on
Absolutely.
confidence. Rishabh
I
Pant's
couldn't.
toyness is a natural T20 player, so they have match winners. And Rabada
They
and
do have
Nokia
match
on their
winners.
day can run through any batting lineup.
Absolutely.
So
For
they
me,
have
it's
the
going to
death
be Rishabh
bowling.
Pant.
Yeah, they have the death bowling. They have the spinners to curb the run flow. You're looking at a pretty
They
well
do.
balanced squad.
They do. And I also won't be surprised if Prithvi Shaw pulls off a beautiful series. So,
Prithvi Shaw might be knocking on that T20 squad if he can manage to do that. I would rather have Prithvi Shaw and Mayank Agarwal as backups to Rohit
so you
and
have
Virat.
we going completely off tangent, but you're allowed to have 23 players in your squad for the entire World Cup. So that's a 23 man squad, and I think if Shaw's able to knock, uh, he needs to be in the contenders for orange cap throughout the season. So if not the top, he needs to be in the three if he wants to come back, if he wants to be a part of that. Anyhow, so that's our take on Delhi. Let's move to Hyderabad.
Sunrisers, again, a fan favorite. They have always been a low-key team that has always performed, always been there. Uh, and again, in the last few years, you have seen some really good talent coming out of Hyderabad as well. So there was a few years back, there was a Basil Thampi that was knocking on the doors, and suddenly he fizzled out. There is Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who is making a really strong comeback. He is showing the world that swing bowling is still out there. It's not all about pace and
Absolutely,
all about Yorkers.
absolutely.
And you have some
You have
youngsters out there, Priyam Garg, Abdul Samad, that are to watch out for.
you have Nattu there. You have Natarajan in the mix of people. So I think
And again, the biggest factor, Kane Williamson, that the man you cannot hate. If you like cricket, you cannot hate Kane Williamson. Again, he's brilliant player on a different plane altogether. So again, this is an interesting squad because now you have two openers, Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow.
Johnny Bairstow,
You
right?
also have David Warner, who's captaining the squad. So he's going to play all his games. And you have Kane Williamson, you cannot drop. So these are the
So
four really strong overseas players. Now on top of that, throw in Rashid Khan. You cannot drop Rashid.
you have Mujib in the mix. You
Mujibur
have
Rahman, exactly.
so
And you have
you
Mohammad
have
Nabi.
absolutely.
Again,
So
a brilliant all-rounder who has been all over, I mean, played T20 all over the leagues, in all the leagues over the world, and has been a great performer. So the
so
overseas squad is something
so
that,
for me, for me, this has been the toughest 11 to pick. Uh, because of so many things, because of their international list of players that they have is immense, is just fabulous, and even their Indian core is pretty strong. They have a decent bowling lineup. They have bowlers who can swing. They have Natarajan who can who can be lethal on his day, and you have Manish Pandey in the mix. So Manish Pandey is one of their core players who has always been under the radar, and I think this is he is one of those players to watch out for from this season, because he has to
so
prove a point saying he has not been included, because and there's no fault of his, right? So there's no fault of his exclusion from the Indian team, but now it's the time for him to make a mark and have a place of his own.
so with this squad, with all these big names that we talked about, right? Warner, we have Bairstow. The difference maker last time around was Jason Holder and Riddhiman Saha. Riddhiman Saha was the one who came in and made that last push last time around. These were the two, and Riddhiman Saha opened the innings. So now you're also looking at, do you take the tried and tested Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow combination out and put Riddhiman Saha up the order? Johnny Bairstow comes down at one drop. That means Kane Williamson doesn't get enough overs to bat, so Kane Williamson comes further down. So but in the top four, you have already used three overseas
Or
players.
to be real, I don't even think Kane Williamson will be in the squad. So there's a toss up between Kane Williamson, Jason Roy, and Johnny Bestro. So if Ridhaman Saha opens, there's a toss up between the three of them, and I have a gut that either one of the British guys will be selected over Kane Williamson just because of their strike rate, and so that's me. But you can't drop a Kane Williamson
You
from the
cannot
team.
drop Kane Williamson. And for me, uh, the big decisive factor last time around was Jason Holder as well. Jason Holder was the difference maker. He started bringing that, giving them that, winning momentum again in the second half of the season. He also brings the bowling option. So for me, Jason Holder, Kane Williamson are the two overseas players that you cannot probably drop. But you cannot also drop Rashid Khan. So Rashid plays all the games, that's a given. You cannot drop Rashid.
Absolutely.
The other five big players, you have to pick two or three. Kane Williamson, for me, has the ability to actually do both. He can play his magical poetic shots in the middle, and in the blink of an
Kane
eye, you will
Williamson,
see him
Kane,
40 balls, 65 runs.
he's one of those players who seems so effortless. But at the end of the day, he scored around 6 million runs, and he'll still go under the radar. So he's one of those key players which you have to be in the, which has to be a part of your playing level.
He has to be a part of playing 11. So again, team squad selection will be the biggest concern that this team will have.
That's a good
Bowling
headache
wise,
to
I
have.
think
That's a good headache to
it,
have, apart from whereas as compared to a Delhi where you have to think a lot about who's playing rather than, oh god, he's a good player, oh god, he's a good player, now how do you fit in and how do you make the best out of it.
so. I think they are pretty compact when it comes to bowling in the death. Sandeep Sharma and Natarajan are brilliant. You also have Rashid Khan, who is brilliant anywhere you bring him. So there are these three core bowlers that you have. You have Jason Holder, who's going to bring you 4 overs. If he plays, he's going to give you 4 overs. Then you have a toss up between who's the all rounder you go for. Do you go for Vijay Shankar? who can give you 2 overs, at least 2 to 3 overs, or do you
Samad.
experiment a little bit and include Kedar Jadhav, who can, dart those 2 or 3 overs? But Kedar Jadhav, if he comes in, then you're looking at dropping a youngster like Abdul Samad or a Priyam Garg. So it's going to be an interesting team. Again, I am not sure if this will be a top four team, but I think it will be. If it is not in the top four, I'll see this team being fifth. It
So
can very
I
well be in the
think
top four.
I think this team will be in the top four because I really hope Chennai makes it, but I think Chennai won't. There's a difference between hoping and making it. I think Chennai won't make it, but I think Sunrisers will go through. So
Absolutely. And you have three brilliant bowlers bowling in the death: Bhuvi, Natarajan, Sandeep Sharma. You have the fourth bowler, that is Rashid Khan, who's going to give you 4 overs for sure. So you have these four bowlers. The fifth bowler is Jason Holder. So you have 20 compact overs from these five.
So you don't have a leeway of having 8 overs to take care of, like you have it with
Yes.
any other team. These guys are sealed with their 20.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think this squad is going to be in the top four. This will be in the top four. So far, I've got Mumbai, Delhi, and Hyderabad. That will definitely be in the top four.
So I think a little dicey about Delhi. There'll be a toss up between RCB and Delhi. Whoever plays better goes through. So what's 11 for Hyderabad?
Tough choice. I will go with Bairstow, Jason Roy. One down is Kane Williamson. Um,
Interesting.
and I pretty much dropped their captain. So I don't. That again, I will not be able to pick there. For me, I can definitely see Manish
Just
Pandey. If you ask me for the 7 Indians, let's pick those: Bhuvi, Sandeep Sharma, Natarajan, Manish Pandey are going to be there for me. These four. Then I will probably see a toss up between Abdul Samad and uh,
Shankar.
Vijay Shankar. I mean, of these three, Vijay Shankar, Abdul Samad, and
Kedar
what is
Jadhav.
his name? Kedar Jadhav. I'll see two of these three playing,
Hmm.
and then there will be the four overseas
Then they'll.
player. You can pick
That's a
between.
tough one. That's a tough
Yeah,
one.
then I think you have to pick between Johnny Bairstow, Warner. Warner, who's the captain, is going to play all the games. So you will probably see Warner and Bairstow opening, and for me, Kane Williamson and Jason Holder play all the games.
So for me, it's Warner. There's a toss up between Roy and Westro. One between the two to open. Pandey at three. So you need to have Pandey in the mix of things. Uh, Pandey at three. Williamson at four. Shankar Samad 5-6. You have Abhishek Sharma at 7. Rashid at 8. So and the three bowling, the
Nine is
three
Bhuvi, 10 is
9-10.
Natarajan, 9,
11
10, and then
is
you either have Khalil or
Sun.
Sandeep Sharma bowling 11th.
I will prefer
Yeah,
Sandeep Sharma over Khalil.
yeah,
So
agreed. For me, uh, I mean, I know this is not Hyderabad. It will not be using this as a trial for Khalil, but I would like to focus on Khalil just because India lacks a left-arm pacer right now. So, I mean, I would like to see Khalil's domestic season closely just because he's a left-hander, but he's way wayward.
I don't see him coming around because I don't see him do a lot of things for Sunrisers this time around. Pretty harsh, but
All
yeah,
right.
that's what I feel.
Well,
What is your X Factor player for Hyderabad?
X Factor, Natarajan and Williamson.
I think the entire team. I think that there is no X Factor. They're just going to go bonkers
And
over it.
I mean, this team has match winners, tons of them. Rashid Khan is a match winner on his day. So this is again looking at a really balanced and a good squad. Their team
Absolutely.
selection might be the reason for their downfall.
Absolutely,
Too many
absolutely.
choppers and
So
chopping and changes might be the reason for the downfall.
couldn't agree more. So on that note,
Well, just a quick, really super quick update. The final of the three one-day squad is, I mean, three one-day matches between Pakistan and South Africa is on. I don't know if you had been following it, but
mhm,
Fakhar
mhm.
Zaman yet again scored 100, and Babar missed out on his 100. He needed a six
Okay.
of the last ball to get to 100, and he managed to get caught on the boundaries. Uh,
Mhm.
85 needed of the last 48 balls and
48.
10.62 runs were over. So coming to an interesting end. Uh, let's hope it gets to be a close game as well.
Mhm,
And that being
mhm,
said, it was believed that it will be a walkover for Pakistan, considering five changes happened in the South African squad. South African
mhm,
players are stepping up and giving it a fight. So with that being
mhm,
said,
mhm.
I guess that's all that we have. So guys, if you have come this far, uh,
One, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry.
yeah, if you have come this far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is a channel Back to the Nets. We talk about cricket and cricket only. And if you're the first time visitor, please do hit the like button. If you like the channel, let everybody know. If you don't like it, let us know. We will be glad to work on the content. And that being said, healthy, stay safe wherever you are.
I would like to give a shout out to Parth. He has helped me format all the teams for the series for this edition of the IPL, and we will bring him on really soon. Let's hope we get him.
Sounds good.
We have our names on the thumbnail, and you can follow him on Twitter, me on Instagram. We do a lot of random stuff there. So do follow us. Do give us a shout out. All right, guys.
Thank you. Talk to
Bye
you guys
bye.
soon.